It's awesome. Thank you so much. Well done. All right, would you welcome my friend Joey to come on up? Come on, Joey. Go get him, man.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name's Joey. I'm an alcoholic and an addict and a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. My name is Joey, and I work a recovery program for addiction, anger, and sex addiction. From a young age, I knew all about the Bible. I used to take it everywhere with me when I went to visit my brother in the hospital. I would pray for people and kids in the kids' hospital. My parents were addicts. Drugs were normal around my home. At the age of 9, I took my first bong hit. My dad was my drug dealer. He now has 18 years clean. Drugs around me became a way of life for me until the age of 40 when I finally decided to stop. Before that, I never questioned my choices. It was a normal part of our life. I didn't want to be like my parents, but here I was following in their unhealthy footsteps. Growing up, we didn't have much, which in turn allowed me to be really ungrateful. We only had enough to just get by. Hand-me-down clothes and toys were how I lived. So when I did get something, I just ran it into the ground. I didn't care and didn't appreciate what I did have. I wasn't very grateful at all. This led me leading a life of ungratefulness in all areas and believing I always deserved more. I lived a life of doing many pills, crack, alcohol, and any other drug I could get my hands on, which led to many really bad decisions. I found myself in rehab several times, none of which were successful because I always did it for others and I never did it for myself. Once my wife finally talked me into going to detox, I finally chose detox and rehab for me, and God began to move. In detox, they held a service every Sunday, and they asked if they could pray for me. I agreed, and they prayed against any witchcraft that had a hold on me. And in that very moment right there in that detox center, I felt something leave me. And I felt the presence of God like I have never felt before. My legs were so weak and I could barely stand. And I had a vision right then of Jesus sitting down and I was sitting on his lap. I've been married twice to the same beautiful woman. First time around, I just couldn't stay clean. I wasn't doing treatment for me. I was doing it for everybody else, and it just didn't work for me. I kept telling myself that I couldn't take time away from work or my so-called responsibilities. This was just more excuses. I also had a porn addiction that I told myself it wouldn't affect her, but I have learned just how much my behavior in this area did hurt her and my marriage. When in rehab, I took several classes that helped me overcome those addictions. I've been clean from those for 4 or 5 years. I chose not to do porn because I know the consequences for my marriage will be huge. The guilt and the shame was hard to work through, but I know I am forgiven. After I had some clean time, me and my wife got remarried. We have 2 beautiful daughters and 2 beautiful grandkids that live with us. We're both in recovery, which is a miracle in itself. I am not good at communication, and this plays a big role in my marriage. She's great at it, and me not so much. It's easier for me to assume that she knows what I'm thinking, and that usually doesn't work out well. I tell myself that if she loved me, she would know what I'm thinking. That is me believing a lie. No one can know what I'm thinking. This type of thinking sets me up for failure. I have a new sponsor, and I am working on building a relationship with him so that I can feel comfortable talking to him about all these types of situations. Before recovery, when I was getting into an argument, I would retreat, deny, manipulate situations to get the answers that I wanted. I've learned through working a program that being honest with myself first and God, facing my problems head on, will always work out better for my marriage and whatever I'm dealing with. Having my grandchildren living with me has presented some challenges. There's a fine line being the parent versus being the grandparent. Many times I have to walk away and take a breath. I'm hoping that God can help me with setting some boundaries for myself in my home. Having a life without boundaries will lead me to revert to the old behavior of manipulation. I don't want to return there, so I continue to work a program. I'm working on finding the right boundaries that I can have with them, which in turn will leave me feeling peaceful rather than frustrated. My finances are another area that have changed since recovery. I've learned through the years about tithing consistently, which is giving back to God what is already His. That when I am faithful in giving the little I have, it's amazing to me how God provides for me usually in a much bigger way than I could provide for my family. And it just amazes me how God remains faithful when I do my part. Step 1 says we admitted we were powerless and our lives had become unmanageable. Powerlessness, for me, sums up a lot of who I had become as a person in general. I have realized how powerless I am, but also how powerlessness has affected all areas of my life, from my home life to my work life. I am learning that I have spent a lot of my life in denial, denying the fact that when I am wrong, I am simply wrong, and I have been wrong in most of my affairs. I am learning that if I can let go and let God, things usually work out much better for me and those around me. And one of the best things I've learned through the program is playing the tape through. In the past, I never really cared how what I said would affect somebody. By playing the tape through, it allows me to run through a filter before I say it. And it's crazy to me because before recovery, I didn't even think that was an issue. Looking back on it now, it's shameful for me to think that I was like that. I've learned that one of the most fulfilling feelings for me in recovery is giving back. When I think back on my journey, remembering guys that took out time from their busy days and their schedules for me was monumental, and I look forward to doing the same for somebody else when my time comes to do so. Being sober for almost 7 years, I can still see and feel the consequences of my unhealthy choices and my addiction. I have to choose to use the tools that I have gotten in recovery because I always have a reason to use. However, I always have a tool to help me choose wiser. Where I came from, where I've been, and where I'm at is a total testament to God and this program. To the newcomer, I believe that if I can stop drinking and using drugs, that anybody can. And I encourage you to trust the process and put your faith in God rather than yourself. That changed everything for me. Thanks for letting me share, guys.
Whew. You guys just got like machine gunned on like amazing recovery from both people there. And Joey, that was jam-packed full of recovery lesson after recovery lesson after recovery lesson. Did you guys catch all that stuff that was in there? We'll get both of these videos up. Do we have permission to post these this week? Yeah. We'll get these up by Wednesday this week. I would encourage you to go back and watch them because there was like truth after truth after truth after truth after truth after truth. That was like awesome. Thank you so much, man. So notice how we had one testimony that had nothing to do with substance abuse. And we have another one that was about drugs and alcohol. God helps both types of people no matter what your recovery is and anything in between. Who's grateful that God's here to help us no matter what our issue is? Yeah. So thank you for that. Joey said something really profound. He said that it wasn't until I went to do my recovery for me. Did y'all catch that? It's not going to work if you're doing it for other people. Your husband or your wife, your kids, your job. Man, our brokenness has a way to outdo all those things. The beautiful thing about God, and it's okay if you're unsure of God in this place, but let me tell you the beautiful truth about him. If you're willing to give it a try and stretch just enough faith that God might be real, God has the capacity to help you love yourself enough to do it for you. Because you are a child of God and you're a person of worth. COGPAL, that's right. COGPAL, that's our acronym. If you're new, that's our acronym for your child of God and a person of worth. And you're probably thinking, why are all these weird people saying COGPAL? We're still weird, but that's what that means. All right, so I'm going to invite Leah and Miranda to come back on up. And they're going to sing a song for us. And this is not necessarily one where we stand and we respond. Miranda, there she is. There she is. Okay. Say her name and she appears. There's Miranda. Okay. All right. They're going to play a song for us. It's a song called Hard Drugs. And you're really going to like it. It's going to speak to you. But here's what we're going to do while they're playing. This is a moment to think reflectively and to pray. And if you're unsure about God, here's all what prayer is. It's talking with and listening to God. That's it. And so we're just going to take a moment to quietly pray and reflect as they play this song for us. And here's what I want you to reflect on. Mike, can we put up our 2 discussion questions right now? Here's our questions that we're going to talk about in group tonight. I want you to think about these questions while they play this song. Question 1 is, what is one thing from tonight's testimony I can apply to my recovery? Oh. Well, that's double. Oh, no, that's right. Okay, what is one thing from tonight's testimony I can apply to my recovery? And what is one victory in my recovery from the past week I can celebrate? So it's one thing from the testimonies I've heard tonight then I could share about, that I can apply to my life. And what's one victory I have this week? One thing I could take from the testimonies, one victory. Everyone got it? All right, let me pray for us.